I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome to the Sovereign State of Mind. Today with me we have Nihang Singhs from the editing crew. We are starting this podcast, so we've been working on a lot of projects. While we're doing these projects, the feedback we always usually get is that people want to know the Nihang Singh perspective. So be it on current affairs or whatever, they are very interested to know how do Nihang Singhs perceive what's going on in the world, how certain subjects within the Panth. So we got talking what's the best way of presenting it. You could do speeches, and you could do small tutorial videos, you could do small you can do khatha, but we found that this is probably the best medium. It's because the level of depth you get from a podcast you won't get anywhere else.
100%.
Because you get with that vajad, you have that conversation.
100%. I think the Nihang Singhs perspective has been pushed back quite a bit in recent years as well. This gives a voice and a platform to Nihang Singhs, Forge and other organisations to speak on current affairs, which might be taboo subjects for some people as well.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about podcasts is because you can have these type of subjects and you can have a discussion on it. Whereas when you present an idea in a informational video, it's very one-dimensional. So here we can say we're discussing, be it like something simple as the Mullah, but you won't just get one viewpoint. You get several different viewpoints. You get the reasoning behind it, and we can question each other. Why have you got this stance on X, Y, and Z? And I think that's why and it's one reason why podcasts are so popular right now. And it's
the medium, it allows us to convey, not only audio, video as well. It just gives a voice for our people to, say what they like. Like we were speaking about this earlier, how people may have varying opinions, but we want to give a good perspective on it. So everybody, really has a clearer idea of, Gurmat Giya, Manmat Giya, and we can go from there.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing that people find so interesting about the Nihang Singh perspective is that our viewpoint isn't a viewpoint or an opinion. A lot of our beliefs and the way that we see the world isn't the same way people see the world, because we don't try to base it on opinion. Like the Qamar Qasa, if we wear a Qamar Qasa, it's not because we feel like it's our opinion that this is what's right. It's via Atiyas. Our whole point of our existence is trying to take manmat, which can translate to opinion, out of it, and you're replacing that with gurmat. I think that's why people are so drawn to this type of thinking and these type of vajara.
I think what's important is that Nihang Singhs and Forge will have different views. They will have different opinions on certain subjects. However, there's to a certain extent that it's not opinion anymore, and people are deliberately trying to twist certain opinions on maybe Maryada or Idias to their own liking. So I think there's an extent to that we have to watch out for, be careful of in terms of what's opinion and what is fact.
Exactly, and that's, I think that is the line that we want to draw while we're doing these podcasts, is that opinions are, this might be controversial, but opinions are not valid in our Vajar. It has to be based on it. It has to be based on Gurmat, on Gurubani, because if we go on our opinions, we're saying that our manmat is more important than say our Atiyas. If our Atiyas is saying one thing and it's black and white, we have no reason and we have no meaning to go against that. Your opinion, it doesn't make sense. You could have an opinion saying no, there wasn't Panj Pyar, there was 3. Your opinion's not valid. Atiyas, Gurmat says one thing, your opinion in that sense doesn't, I don't know why you believe it's valid, but we want to see your perspective. So like say, I know your background and you came into Sikhi by reading Panj Prakash. Your idea and your gyan is going to be very unique to you. So what you've learned and how you've come through that progress. So when we have conversations, your perspective on that, the Nihang perspective on that will be different to everyone else's, and that's the perspective we want to bring forward. And one key aspect and key anchoring ethos we're going to have in our podcast is that we want to talk about stuff that we imagine would have been spoken about in Guru Sahib's Darbar. So that's Shastra Vidya, Rag Vidya, about poetry, Ityas, we want to bring that culture back because this culture is non-existent. We don't see it in a lot of Guru Ghar.
You look at the Kavi Darbar itself, the amount of literature and the type of literature that was written in the Kavi Darbar, it had, I think, it was split into ras, so like you can almost translate that as flavors. You know, there's on like love, there would be on war, like military strategy, a range of subjects, and I think this is where we're struggling in the Bant. Like we need to be all around, you know, looking into all these different types of subjects, not just like one or just Shastra Vidya or just, you know, Gurmat Vidya. As a Sikh, we're Sant Sabai, but Sare Passe Sikhna chahiye.
100%, and I think that's what we're going to want to bring to the forefront. There's the vichar on, and you know, we are going to touch on subjects like boxing. People might say, you know, boxing has nothing to do with Gurmat, but actually, if you read Gurbani and Atiyas, Maharaj mentions famous fighters. You know, Khadak Singh is mentioned in Dasam Granth, and they're famous fighters, and you take inspiration, you take their gun, and then you also see their downfalls. So you know, you could say, you know, this is the vidya that they use, but you know, this is what makes this guy so special. But this is what makes him weak. And this is you can see the Gurmat in this perspective, and you can see his manmat.
That's the beauty in Dasam Bani as well. All of our Bani, that's the beauty that Maharaj shows us, you know, where these characters rose and where they fell at as well.
And it's important to have the conversation of people who fight. You know, warriors like watching warriors. They like, you know, Sangeetkar, I like Asi Kirtan Karte hain. We have a passion of watching videos and going to events of other people who do Sangeet. Sanu chaya, andro chaya, and the same way the people who genuinely love, you know, Shastra Vidya, genuinely love Juda Vyas. Unu cha honda to see, okay, what these guys are doing.
UFC, MMA,
and
we love watching that kind of stuff.
And you have to, and then you see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. You try to see, okay, like their pantra kida use karte, what's their mindset, and these type of conversations are no longer had, and that's what we want to bring forward. And it's not just all going to be boxing or MMA. We also want to talk about Ityasa Granths, and not just Ityasa Granths. Why are they so important to us? Because people have devalued them, and why are they so important to not just Nihang Singhs, to the whole Khalsa Panth? And what gun did you get from reading them? And this is what we want to bring to the forefront. And we want to talk to other organisations that do seva that maybe are not spoken about.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily have a voice. You know, we have a lot of taboo subjects as Punjabis, you know, as Indians, as a community. We have a lot of things that we shy away from, and we need to give that space to allow them to, you know,
100%.
have their opinion.
And we want experts to speak on them. So be it like mental health, whatever sort of subject it is, Gurmat Sangeet, we want to have experts to talk about it. You know, because these type of subjects are not always spoken about. Mental health is a big one. They have started speaking about it in Guru Ghars more, but we want to have experts and, you know, facilitate so people understand mental health in relation to Sikhi and what mental health actually is. Because the worst problem is not just not a Sikh problem, it's a universal problem. Is that you get a jack of all trades and the master of none, and we can't have that type of attitude in the Panth, because we never did. You look at the Kavi Darbar, they were experts. You look at Pasuka Singh was an expert. You look at Bhai Bachitra Singh, they were an expert. But you know, Bhai Mani Singh was an expert. But you very rarely get a jack of all trades. And I've not seen a jack of all trades. But we have to have, yes, we do have to have aspects of all these type of vidya. You have to have a knowledge of them, but you need to also specialize and become very good in a certain field, and you need to appreciate that vidya. So when we have someone that comes in who's an expert on mental health or etc., it's important to take the gun that, you know, I'm not an expert on mental health. I'm not going to be going on talking about mental health, but I want to understand and learn from these people. And I think what makes us unique is that we genuinely want to know. And these discussions need to be had, and that these are the discussions I'm looking forward to having, and I want to present to the Sangat.
100%.
So I'm looking forward to having these guests on and having these discussions. So stay tuned and see you guys next time.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.